Hey golfers, in this next video I'll be showing you how to rotate through the golf ball. Keep watching. Hey, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So in this video we're talking about how to rotate through the golf ball. Now we know with the pros they rotate through the golf ball with their hips and their shoulders. Their hips in particular get anywhere up to 45 degrees rotated open. Whereas most amateur or weekend golfers may only rotate up to 20 degrees or so. And it'll look something like this. So if I'm set up to one here, typically the pros, and this has all been measured through the latest technology, you'll see they rotate their hips open, their shoulders get open, and they get into this nice impact position here. Whereas something that you might be able to relate to, maybe you've looked at your swing on video or had a lesson, you've been told you're not rotating your hips open enough, you might be coming through and just opening them a little bit, then you're relying on your hands and arms to square up the club face, a lot of flipping and trying to just hit some decently straight shots. So it's important to understand there could be a reason why you can't rotate, so we need to kind of take a step back in your golf swing and see why can't you rotate, because you might be aware you need to rotate the hips and the shoulders open, but there's something stopping you from doing it. So the first thing I would have a look at the width of your stance. If you have your feet too wide, and it's different for everyone depending on your body type, if you have them too wide it can be very difficult to rotate. So that's one important thing. You want to make sure, again, as a general guideline, somewhere around that shoulder width apart. The other thing could be your feet, and again I'll exaggerate this, they could be pointing straight on towards the golf ball in this position here. Now I see golfers doing this all the time, their feet are pointing too straight, and if you just test this out, your ability to rotate, depending on how flexible you are, will be severely restricted if your feet are pointing straight ahead. So make sure you flare them out, particularly your lead foot, because through the ball on the downswing, if you can get that one flared out a little bit more, it helps with the rotation so much more rather than having it straight on like that. So make sure you flare out that foot. So from this angle here, you want those feet flared out, shoulders about shoulder width apart, the feet about shoulder width apart I should say. Now the other big key, and for mine this is probably the biggest reason why you struggle to rotate, open club face. I've spoken about this before, but it contributes to so many faults in the golf swing by not having this face square. And I'll explain as I go through this. So your brain is really smart. Now, if your face is open in the downswing, your brain has no incentive or there's no desire for it to rotate. If I've got an open face, I come to the top here, if I've got an open face and I come down, there's no incentive for me to rotate, because if I keep rotating, look what happens. Face is pointing out to the right, I'm going to hit push slices or pushes all day long. So your brain knows this, makes a compensation or an adjustment, and what does it do? Comes down, face is open, flip, hands roll over. It knows that your face is open, it knows you need to square it up or else you're just not going to hit the ball any good at all. So making sure you get a square club face on that downswing is so key. Now, one of the easiest way you can do that is get a little bit of bowing in that lead wrist. Just turn it inside like that. I've done a video on this recently. Bowing on that downswing has so many powerful benefits. Squaring the club face helps you shallow. So if you've looked at yourself and you think that might be the reason why you can't rotate, get to the top, feel like you're bowing that wrist, you'll find that the club will shallow, you won't come down steep, and your brain will have incentive to rotate, because you need to rotate, and you'll get into this great impact position like this. With your irons and your driver, it'll work just as effective for both. So making sure a square club face will help you with that rotation. The other reason why you might not be able to rotate And I'm going to provide a drill at the end of this that will tie this all in for you, so make sure you stick around for that. At the top of your backswing, if you get your hands really high, closer to above your head, again, when you come down, you'll come down steep. Again, the brain has no incentive to rotate, because if you do rotate, it just opens the face up even more. And again, you'll come down and you'll flip. So again, a great key for that, to fix that, get a bit more depth in your backswing. Hands just a little bit deeper out here. Again, that'll make it a lot easier to shallow. Again, your brain's got incentive to rotate. Really, really important. Now the other thing, and I touched on this before, and that's about coming down steep. If you come down steep, again, there's no incentive to rotate. Hands will just want to flip. That's usually what happens most of the time. If you leave it open, you're just going to hit a big slice right out to the right. The final thing that you could be doing, top of the backswing, is getting too much cupping in that lead wrist. So I spoke about bowing was this. Cupping is just the opposite. Now, you can do this in a golf swing and get away with it. Some of the best pros have managed to do that, but they've been able to shallow the club. So if you're at the top here and you've got a bit of cupping there, you have to work harder to shallow and come down. Whereas I find if you get a flatter wrist, more neutral at the top, it's much easier to shallow and get that rotation that we want. So that's really important. So if you think these will really help you out, make sure you smash that like button. I really appreciate that, it helps me out. I'm going to show you a simple drill. Now, I've got an attachment and a training aid here attached to this club. Now you don't have to get one of these, you can use an alignment stick or another club, but you want at least 1.5 feet attached to the end of a golf club like this. Now the idea is, this will train you to make that better swing, and it forces you to rotate, which is what I love about it. So I want you to put it up against your side of your body here, up against your ribs. Just move this back a bit. You're going to set up to a ball. Now as you make your backswing, I want you to drag that stick, the end of the club, across your body. Drag it across there, and as you get here it'll come off, make your backswing. Now this is the real key, this is the money move in the downswing. As you come down, if I flip, this stick's just going to whack straight into my ribs. I haven't rotated, the hips have stalled. That's not what I want you to do. So as you come down, hopefully you're shallowing, you've got a square club face. I want you to rotate. If you rotate, that stick will get nowhere near your side. You've just performed a fantastic downswing with Tour Pro rotation. So let's do it again. Nice and slow, backswing, downswing, no flipping there, great rotation. Let's have a look from this angle. Backswing, keep it touching us, comes off. There's just so much incentive to rotate because I don't want to whack myself with the end of this alignment tool, which would be really painful. So it really forces you, gives you that great incentive to rotate. So I'll do one towards the camera, up against my side, up to the top. And you can really rotate really hard. I get great rotation, and you're going to get a lot more consistency in your golf swing. So remember, when you're setting up, drag it along your body, get it to the top. If you get everything square and you shallow the club, get a bit of that bowing and that lead wrist, and then rotate. And you can practice that at home. You can even lead up to hitting small shots at the driving range. Make sure you practice this without hitting balls first. I definitely recommend that, or you could really hurt yourself. But then hit small shots at the range. You'll need to do quite a few reps of this just to get the feel of it, but I know it will really help you out. Now, what's going to help you out even further, I've got a video coming up that talks about getting the left shoulder down in the downswing. Now, combining this with the left shoulder down, you'll play some fantastic golf. So make sure you watch that video. It's coming up. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about how keeping the left shoulder down in the downswing helps you make an even better golf swing. Do you want to know how you can play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.